Well, let's see if you ladies can face the brutality of this monster, the Peavey Triple XXX. As you may know, I'm a big fan of Peavey amplifiers. Got the 3 rock metal amps here, the most famous one. This one, the 6505. Former it was called the 5150, designed for Eddie Van Halen. I'm going to show you that amp in another video. This in the middle is the Joe Satriani's signature, called the Peavey XXX. Also a great amp. But today we will take a look at Peavey's well, metal amplifier, which is, of course they can all do metal, but maybe this one here, the Triple X, is designed especially for the metal players out there. It's well, as you can see, it looks quite similar to the dual rectifier, at least with the chrome plate here. And it's a 3-channel amp, clean, crunch, and ultra channel. And yeah, today we will see how it sounds. As you can see here, there are these beautiful women, which is also quite good for an amplifier. In fact, it's the best feature of this amp, besides the sound, I can tell you. And also, consequently, they named the knobs of the tone stack control here, which is usually bass, middle, treble. But here in this amp, they named it bottom, body, and hair. Which maybe they're also describing the woman. I don't know why they called this amp Triple X. Maybe they thought it should be better than 6 or maybe more powerful. But anyway, women are always good, in my opinion. And this amp is also kick-ass. So let's start with the clean channel. And I have to say, the clean channel is a feature that, for example, the 6505 doesn't have. 6505 has a rhythm channel, but you cannot get it pristine clean, at least not with the EMGs I'm playing here. By the way, this is my Schecter Bansjee 6FR, beautiful color, good smell, and yeah, EMG pickups, Floyd Rose 1000 series tremolo, whatever shit. And yeah, the clean channel has a bass, middle, and treble control, and in the clean channel it's called bass, middle, and treble. So maybe this is not for the woman. The clean channel doesn't have a gain control, only a volume knob, and sounds like that. Neck pickup. And middle position. And well, let's dial out some mids. Treble. I think if you dial back the treble or mids a little bit, like I do now, it's both at maybe around 10 o'clock, you can get like a Vox-like tone. At least in my opinion. And if you crank the treble, dial out some mids, then you're more or less in a Fender territory. So in my opinion, it's definitely a great feature of the clean channel. It's usable, it delivers pristine clean tones, and sounds very nice. So that was a surprise when I got the amp. And yeah. Anyway, we're here for the distorted tones, so now I will switch to the crunch channel, which is my favorite. By the way, I'm playing through my Marshall cabinet with the vintage 30 speakers. It's called the 1960 AV or 1960 Vintage. Mic'd with an SM57 is the sound you're hearing. So now I'm in the crunch channel. I got everything at noon except the well, the volume at 10 o'clock, gain at 10 o'clock. And the amp has a master volume. It doesn't have a presense and resonance control of the power amp, but it has a master volume, and the master volume is now set at 9 o'clock. But it's still really loud. Definitely more than bedroom level. It delivers these chugs, but in my opinion it has a little bit too much of these maybe higher treble frequencies, or the higher mids, like the around the 2K. So let's see if we can dial that out. I will play around now with the tone stack knobs, the hair, body and bottom. So maybe let's try to dial out some hair. And by the way, the tone stack in the Ultra and the Crunch channel, it's an active tone stack, so it's very powerful. And if you set it all to 0, then there's no sound. So anyway, now I set the hair, which is the treble, at maybe 11 o'clock. And now let's play around with the body. So I set the body now at around maybe 11:30, but it's still quite a big change, big difference. If I set it to 11:30 instead of 12 o'clock, I can show you. This is 11:30, and 12 o'clock is that. I don't know if you can hear it, but in the room it's definitely more honky. So I will reduce it a little bit. Let's see what the bottom does. Now the bottom is at 2 o'clock, and I don't know if you can hear it on the recording, but here in the room it's really shaking. The ground is, you can feel the vibration. It might be also a result of the cabinet is placed on the floor. Then you will have way more bass response than if your cabinet is placed on wheels or some stand. I think the bass is usually not that much needed with high gain guitars, especially not if you're playing rhythms, but for leads it fattens up the sound and I like it quite a lot. So I definitely recommend to play around with the bass control in your tone stack if you are after a fat lead tone. It can help, definitely. Of course you should not dial out all of the mids. The mids are important for the pitch of the note. But if you want to fatten things up, yeah, you should play around with the bass control. And this is, I think, my favorite lead tone of this amp. Set the bottom a little bit higher at maybe 2 o'clock like now. And dial back the hair and body up. Yeah, and it's, well... So, by the way, I'm still around 10 o'clock with the gain and I'm in a crunch channel, so you can see this amp has a lot of gain. In fact, the crunch channel and the ultra channel, they're similar as far as the gain is concerned. Of course, the EMG 81 might have a high output, but let's see if we can get some light crunch tones if we dial back the gain in the crunch channel. As you can see now, it's maybe almost at 0. So it's really hard to get a light crunch tone. For example, now I have the gain almost dialed out completely, and you get maybe like these AC/DC kind of crunch tones. Although it's not too much bass for AC/DC, might be. But other than that, if you want to have less gain, then you have to dial it out in front of the amp with maybe the volume knob of your guitar, like I did now, or use maybe vintage pickups. So I have to say, light crunch and crunch tones are not the it's nothing which this amp is famous for. This amp delivers bone-crushing high-gain tones and also great cleans, but everything in between is difficult to get. Okay, let's check out the crunch channel. Now we will start with everything at noon, and gain at 10 o'clock, volume at 10 o'clock, sounds like that. Let's switch back to the crunch channel, and well, I will set now the ultra channel exactly like I set the crunch channel. So maybe body and hair around 11 o'clock, gain at 10 o'clock, bottom at 2 o'clock. Yeah, and this is the crunch channel. And this is the ultra. I think the ultra channel, I don't know if you can hear it, but it has more sizzle and also more bass, thump in the bass, I think. So I will dial back to the bottom a little bit. Its voice a little bit different than the crunch channel. The amount of gain is similar, I think, and yeah, now I set it similar to the crunch channel, only I added a little bit more of body, which is the mids, and yeah, I think that's it. I hope you can get an impression of this amp. If you are after well, great high gain distorted tones and pristine clean tones, this is definitely something you should consider. In my opinion, it's easier to use than a dual rectifier. The dual rectifier is quite difficult to dial in my opinion, because it has that low end and high end, which is impossible to tame if you don't use an overdrive pedal in front of the amp. As you can see, I didn't use an overdrive pedal with this amp, and it's still tight. It has enough bass. It's not that annoying in the top end, although I don't know if it might be maybe annoying a little bit when you're playing at louder volumes. But to me, the tone stack sounds really yeah, usable, which is not always the case. As far as the other Peavys are concerned, I'd say the 6505 has quite a unique tone stack, which is yeah, sounding great in my opinion. It's my favorite amp of these three, but the XXX and the JSX, they're more similar as far as their overall tonality is concerned. Also, they're both 3-channel amps. XXX has an additional resonance and presence control, the power amp section, fat switches, and also a built-in noise gate. We'll show you that in another video. But other than that, these two amps are similar, but the 6505 sounds completely different as far as the overall tone is concerned. So if you are after 6505 tones, then you should definitely go with this amp. But if you are maybe after great metal tones, and yeah, if you have problems maybe with getting good tones out of a dual rectifier, these are easier to use. I definitely recommend them. Also, this amp works great with a pedal in front of the amp, and but as far as the gain is concerned, overall tightness, it doesn't need it, so I didn't show you today. Yeah, well, what do you think? What is your favorite Peavey amp? You like the XXX? You like the women? Of course, everybody likes women. So yeah, well, post your comments below, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.